Scundered with me, Teresa Livingstone.
Oh my God, hi.
Hi, Mary. Mary, you just were slagging this off a minute ago saying you felt like you were on this morning.
I did. I felt like I was like, So Giles Brandreth has gone to Essex to look at jam jars. Tell us about jam jars, Giles.
I've got some branding going on. Please forgive me.
Oh, I think it's lovely.
Right.
I think it's lovely. Someone's on a trip to IKEA and picked up everything under £10.
Cheeky bitch. Well, anyway, it's lovely to have you here. So I'm going to do my nice introduction for you, Mary. So
Okay,
I'm
cool.
joined today by a stand-up comedian, writer, script editor, behind-the-scenes queen, 1/3 of the comedy trio 8 out of 10 Kelts. It's the lovely Mary Flanagan.
Oh my goodness, thank you.
Yay!
Hi,
Have I
Teresa.
got all of that right? Are you all those
Yeah,
things?
I guess. I'm every woman. It's all in me. I would say 8 or 10 Celts is less of a trio and more sort of a tri-yearly event.
Okay.
Like we kind of
Come together.
We come together and we play a load of games on stage for the glory of our nations.
So just explain what that means.
Okay. So 8 out of 10 Celts is me from here.
Yes.
Eleanor Morton from Scotland,
Yeah.
and Ethel Sears from Wales.
Right.
And we did a Radio 4 pilot ages ago called The Rest of Us. And we kind of just kept talking and started thinking, well, wouldn't it be fun to do something on stage? And so what we do is we, at a comedy festival, we've done Aberystwyth, Machynlleth, Leicester, want to try and do Fringe this year, like one night only. And we kind of play competitive games on stage. So there's things like place names, real or fake.
Yep.
Okay, so 5 Mile Town has them all like, surely not. And I'm like, surely yes.
Ballybogey.
Yeah.
It's a lovely place.
As a
But
gorgeous
yes.
place. Gorgeous place.
Yeah.
Sponsored to you by the Ballybogey Tourist Board. Ballybogey. More than a jokey name.
So you
Blow
know
your nose on, but anyway. Yes, and then things like you had to make a national monument out of a national food.
Right.
So then I made Newgrange out of a pile of Tayto crisps.
Okay.
And Eleanor Ness had said, but Mary, that looks just like a pile of crisps. You haven't actually made anything. And I said, Google Newgrange. Google Newgrange. Do you want to check that? Because in fact, it is unclockable. And they're, because, and it's judged by an Englishman. We get an English comedian.
Of course.
An English male comedian to come in and lend us you can keep these women in line.
Yeah.
Because we're like.
Don't get hysterical.
Don't get hysterical, that our periods think up, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so that's that. But yeah, so all the other stuff is true as of this recording.
Excellent. Behind the scenes queen. So you've been script editor on some very
Yeah.
high profile shows.
Yes, I was script editor on Doctors,
Yep.
R.I.P. I was script editor on Casualty. Then, of course, that means you're medically qualified to work in the NHS. So I was in there delivering babies, doing operations. I was hoking and poking. But I also was a script editor on Hope Street, series 4. Series 5 is being filmed now, so series 4. And Molly and Mac, which is a kids' TV show.
Oh.
In Scotland. Are we allowed to swear in this, by the way?
Yes.
Oh, thank fuck. Okay. Because they were just, I remember our first day of pre-production. Now, so Molly and Mac was a live action kids show.
I love that you need to swear to talk about the kids show.
Oh, well, exactly.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
the thing.
Go ahead.
Because, like, our first day, I think our producer or exec came down to set, and this was before any of the actors were on stage. So it was all the techies, it was all the crew, all the sound guys, line guys, prop, whatever. And said, okay, we're very excited for Molly and Mac, series 4. Just a reminder that the average age of our cast member is 8. So when you drop something, don't say fuck. Don't call it or yourself a fucking cunt. Don't call each other a fucking cunt. And everybody went, yeah, obviously. And I was in the back going, what? What? And how am I meant to communicate?
I can't work in these conditions.
I can't work in these conditions. And I walked off. And I walked back on again because I needed the money. And that was a really fun time, actually. I'm probably misquoting them entirely. Please hire me again.
It's hard to not curse in front of children sometimes because, especially if even when I've had experience where I've been not purposefully trying to curse or not curse. It's just come out that way. And mainly because I used to teach in Spain.
Oh, yeah.
So I was teaching kids whose first language was Spanish, second language English, and we were learning in English. And as a music teacher, I'd be trying to think of interesting rhythmic games to play with them.
Oh.
So at one point, I don't know if you've ever seen the show Stomp.
Oh, that with the where they hit bins and stuff with newspapers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine ever having to sit through that for an hour and a half. But at the time as a teacher, I was like, ooh, how radical. So I was like, I'm going to introduce a version of Stomp into the classroom. So in Spain, they were all really into basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, right, we're going to use basketballs to make a rhythm. And I fell apart myself because I said, Juan and Luis, could you come up to the front here, take all your stuff with you, and now knock your balls together and we'll all have a wee listen to what it sounds like, right? And then they were like, what do you want us to do? And I was like, I said, knock your balls together, right?
I don't know like if I stuttered.
Yeah, I know.
Louise. What's the Spanish for clear your ears out?
I really lowered my voice. I said, knock your balls together. No, but the funny thing is, balls isn't slang for testicles in Spanish. So they didn't think it was that funny. But I did, and I could not stop laughing.
That feels like a very obvious slang, though.
Yeah. No, they call them eggs. In Spanish, they say mi huevos.
Mi huevos.
Oh, my eggs.
Oh, my eggs.
And it got me into trouble. I'd be like, I love having 2 eggs in my mouth in the morning. It's lovely.
Jesus.
That's awful.
That's disgusting. Mm-hmm. She's disgusting. Anyway,
back to you.
Back to me. Back to embarrassment.
So your show, you do 8 out of 10 Kelts occasionally, but you also have a solo show that you've
I've been
recently taken to the Glasgow Comedy Festival.
Yes, it's called Scream If You Want to Go Slower.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually, that is the name of a half-hour stand-up show I did way back in the mists of time.
When did you start stand-up?
Oh God, too long ago to be doing as badly as I am.
Same.
Yes. I don't know, maybe like 10 years, maybe more. Yeah. Because I started when I came back to here to Belfast. So probably about that long.
Okay.
And
so it was a half-hour show.
It was a half-hour show that was just stand-up, and it was me and Graham, stand-up comedy King Graham Watson. I was about to call him Graham Livingstone for some reason. I think I was just looking at
comedians are. Yes.
Livingston. I think I was like, he's Teresa's husband, isn't he? Oh no, wait, I'm getting mixed up. Okay. So and that was just kind of stand up. And I remember thinking, like, I like that title.
Yeah.
And then when I was sort of trying to put shows together, I thought, well, why don't I just use the same title again? I mean, it'd be embarrassing to keep using the same title for like multiple tours across multiple years, multiple places. I mean, that would be a bit like, what was your title again, Teresa?
Delighted.
Yeah. How many ones were called Delighted?
I mean, a good title is a good title. I'm not going to change it just because the show's different. Yeah, my first show was called Delighted, and then that was about 7 years ago, and then I did the Edinburgh Fringe last year with a very different show, but called it Delighted. What's the problem? It's not that I have a big following that people got confused.
I don't know. I've seen the show before.
Oh, it's all out of sync. Yeah, a good title's a good title.
Yeah. Yes. So I've been doing Scream If You Want to Go Slower around a bit, tarting myself around, and
how did it go in Glasgow?
It went really well. It was really fun. I mean, just Glasgow's always a fun time. I love that city. I was like, I have like every Irish person ever. And of course, I've got a million cousins over there. Yeah. And then they come to the shows. So then that's great because it's like instant audience.
The exact same thing happened to me.
Yes.
I did the Glasgow I was a couple of weeks ahead. I think I was right at the start.
Yes.
And your show was right at the end.
Yeah.
But yes, I had a lot of family members who had never seen me before. And in fact, I don't believe we're very frequent comedy goers.
Yes.
So they knew me. Like when I was younger, I used to just sing. I was like a straight-laced singer. So I'm not convinced they knew that this was a comedy gig they were coming to.
Oh, no.
And it was in a brilliant wee venue called the Writing Room, which is like it's the side of a big, the Polo Lounge, big gay venue.
Yeah.
Perfect venue for me. And they kept, after the show, they were like, so what do you think of the gay scene in Glasgow? And I was like, I mean, I don't know. I'm not gay, but... It sounds great.
But if I was, I'm sure I would
be here.
I'd be here every night of the week.
And I got my best compliment ever after doing an hour of selling my heart out to the crowd of 22 people that came. One of the cousins said, "So Teresa, why comedy?" I was like, why indeed? I ask myself the same question.
I know, but then like people do ask you that, and you do have to kind of go,
I don't know. I'm deluded.
I'm deluded. It's fun. Don't ask me to like prove to you why I should be doing it.
Yeah, I think there's an implication of, but you're not funny.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this to yourself?
Yeah.
Comedy?
Why comedy? And like,
Good
well,
question.
listen, I tried to join the army and I failed the fitness test, and they said, well, here you go. Here's 5 minutes up the path.
Yours went well.
Yes. Yeah. It was.
I'm delighted for you. Glad it went well.
But yeah, so doing that. I mean, I was talking about your show, Delighted. Can we talk about the time I went to see you in Edinburgh?
My God. This has now become. So I didn't do the full Edinburgh run. I did the half. So I did 13 shows in a row.
Lucky 13.
And the one that you came to is my favourite show that I did of the whole run. So just to put it in context, there was maybe 7 to 8 people.
78 people in the room.
Not 78, 7 or 8 people in the room.
Yeah.
One of them may have been my sister Nuala.
Yes.
So take
Nuala.
minus that from Nuala.
Queen.
And so the tech who'd been doing my show every day, who was fabulous, he had to go to a wedding that day. So we'd brought in a trainee to shadow him the day before for all the shows he was taking.
Yes.
And then this lovely guy, Connor, was going to come in. Connor was going to come in and do all the shows the day that James was away at his wedding. So I came in to do my show. You only get like a 10-minute turnaround in between shows, as you know. I came running in. The acts before me were leaving and they looked very, very stressed out. And the room was very bright. And I said, how did that go? And they said, don't ask. I went, all right.
Okay.
And we had a few technical difficulties. Now, I was like, what technical They had one mic and nothing else going on, but there had been technical difficulties. So God bless him. Connor did his absolute best, but absolutely everything that could go wrong went wrong in that show.
And can I just check, Teresa, how was your voice at this point in the run?
Yeah, I was dying. So I'd lost my voice. So I think I had COVID.
Teresa's trying to like take all of her songs like down a key, like on the fly, because her voice is just gone and she's talking like this. And then at some point she just starts a song and says, we're very nice. I can't do it. I can't just skip it. And she would just like skip to the end of the song or like do it fast. And me and the 7 or 8 people that were in the room were like, wonderful.
You were a very supportive audience for the shit that was happening on stage.
So now,
no, the best part was at the beginning, it was the lights that were the issue, not the sound.
So can I just check, by the way, Connor, would you say that was a grown man or?
He was lovely.
He was.
I think he was quite young.
He is now. We wish him the very best, but he did look approximately 10 years old, 10 or 11 years old. Yeah. And so we're kind of looking
he was having a stressful day. He was having a very stressful day. He didn't know where anything was. So the start of my show, I would come out to music, come on stage, the lights would go on me, the lights would go down in the audience.
Yes.
But the way Connor did it was completely the reverse. I came out onto darkness and the audience lights were up. So I came on stage and I went, oh, hi, everybody. Tried to do about 2 minutes and then went, oh, Connor, can we get the house lights down? And there was no reply. So I'm still in darkness. I'm still just trying to keep the show going. And then a few times went, how are we going with those house lights, Connor?
And
house lights. Nothing. Connor. And eventually I could see him, God bless him, running back and forth. He came out of the booth. He was hitting lights on the wall. He was running around and I lost it at one point. And I just went, Connor, the lights. And he said, I don't know where they are. So I shouted back, well, go and find someone who does. And went on with the show. He eventually came back with another tech from upstairs and another show. The house lights went down, the stage lights went on me, and everybody applauded. And then
we were maybe like 15, 20 minutes into the show. I'm like, I can see her.
Oh, that's who this is. And I continued with my like half-assed show of like, what? Nope, that's not going to work. I'll just do another. This is a very short version of it. But my favourite part at the end, there's a reveal at the end where I play a video and I come out in an outfit that's very important to the joke. It's one big joke that I've been building up to.
Yeah.
And at the very end,
very funny. Very funny.
I walked out on stage in the outfit and the stage just went dark with me with my hands in the air in darkness going, if you could see this, it'd be really funny.
So like, there's no, like, she's kind of backlit because there's like a little bit of lights like around the back of the stage. So you have this kind of dark silhouette emerging onto the stage, standing there, kind of expecting some reaction. And then like we're beautifully lit. And then I started to lose my temper. I was like, house lights, Connor, house lights. And I'm turning around, and then the lights come up, and the 7 or 8 people are like, "Oh, wonderful,
wonderful! What a great show!
What a great show!"
That was stressful. But
and we went out for a glass of 3 of wine, and we just kept kind of toasting Connor.
Because he's given me this story, and it does make me every now and then. I think I would just message you and go, "Connor," and
I go, "House lights, house lights, Connor." Listen, I believe that man will be teching shows in the West End. He'll be everyone's boss. We'll be auditioning in front of him. But we'll know. We'll know. Hello.
Oh, God. But yes, thank you for coming. It's very supportive. You were a very good audience member, very sort of... You do that sort of like, no. I have this tendency as well, if I'm watching somebody else perform, I feel very responsible for my reactions.
Yes.
You know, especially if it's not going well and nobody else is laughing, I'll be doing a real, like a real mum in the front row.
Yeah.
Keep going. Oh, very good.
Do you be mouthing along people's lines? So you tell them...
Nudging the people behind me, you're meant to laugh.
You're meant to laugh.
I've got a really extreme example of it. Whenever I was a student, I was studying music in the community, which sounds like busking, but actually it was like doing community work and using music. And one of the placements I did was with a facility that rehabilitated female prisoners.
Okay.
Right? So I thought, do you know what they need? A wee bit of African drumming. So I went in misappropriating all this culture. I was like...
Love it. I wish I'd met like sincere, educational, big dreamer. I can heal people with my music, Teresa.
No, that was me, right? And it wasn't even, I went back to uni to do this, so I was like 30 at the time. It's not like I should have known better. So I set up this placement to come in and rehabilitate the female prisoners, former female prisoners who were going back into society, really. And anyway, the first day when I got in, I was very anxious, and I had deliberately, I wasn't wearing like a suit, or I was wearing like a hoodie. I was like, just like you.
Yeah.
On some fake tattoos. And I came in with my
braided one hair. One little, remember people were teens and they used to come back from like Corfu with like
one braid.
One little braid. Did you have one little, just like a dart? Yes, I can see it. With little beads on the end. Yes.
Little head scarf around me. Like, don't mess with me.
Yeah.
Right. So I went in, and they said, the woman who was in charge said, "Oh, they're actually just in the coffee room having a chat. They've got somebody in speaking to them, but you're welcome to go in and just sit there. And when he's done, we'll introduce you." So I went, right, okay. So I went into this room. Nobody knew who I was, but I just sort of sat down at the front, staring up at this man who was giving a
Why were you sitting at the front, Teresa?
Because I wanted to be supportive, and his speech wasn't going down well. He was a police officer. He's like a community police officer.
It's a tough
he was
crowd.
trying, and he was talking. Probably arrested most of them, and he was talking to them all, saying, "We need to build bridges."
Nice to see you again.
We need to build bridges.
Yeah,
and we're here to support you as much as anything else. They weren't buying it, but I sat in the front row nodding and making appreciative noises, going,
"Yeah, of course you did."
And because I was being such a good audience member, he just locked eyes with me and delivered his speech to me. Sure. And he was like, "We all have a past, leave it behind you." And I was like, "You will." Meanwhile, all the other women are like, "Who's this narc?" Who's the new girl?
Who's the new girl? And also, like, he was probably really convinced by your cool prison attire. You had that braid, you had your headscarf. He was like, "This is a hardened criminal who I'm connecting with. And, if I reach one person today," and he did. Did he stick around for the African drumming?
No, he didn't. I then had to stand up after him and I was like, "Hiya, my name's Teresa. Does anybody want to do some singing?" And they went, "No." And every single one of them left the room, and I was like, "Well, I'll be in here setting up if anybody wants to join."
If anyone wants to change their mind.
I know.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Well, the first session, it was me in an empty room with 10 massive drums, just drumming by myself, trying like a siren, trying to entice somebody else. Oh, God. So one woman did come in, I think because she thought it was funny. And she sat and played with me. And then I was like, "I will be back. I will persevere, ladies. I will be back next week." And in all seriousness, it worked out. We started a wee group and we
Oh.
sang, and it was great. The best part was I had to return all these drums back to the music department, and
Yeah.
there was 1 week, there was about 12 of them. They were like, we'll help you. So we filed into this like hoity-toity music department.
Yes.
And these women they're all sorts of backgrounds, all shapes and sizes. Some, looking more prisoner-like. than others, shall we
Some
say.
serving prisoners.
So the state of us walking through this posh Edinburgh music faculty carrying drums, and I was like, "This way, ladies." So,
Ladies, follow me. Do you think that was there ever a concern that one of them might like unpick the skin of the drum and then tuck themselves inside it to escape?
prisoners.
They weren't
They were
prisoners.
former prisoners.
Oh, they were former prisoners. Okay.
I don't think they'd be allowed out of the prison to return some instruments.
I don't know.
How helpful. They offered to help. Open the gates.
It sounded fairly lax, is all I'm saying. I was like, okay.
No. They were just, it was like
This was all in Edinburgh?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Teresa Livingstone, the Scottish years.
Livingstone. The Scottish years, yeah.
Scottish years.
So that was me. That was after I'd been a teacher.
Correct how I pronounce your name?
No, I didn't. I actually, you said it right and I said it wrong. Because, do you know why? I was thinking of another story. It's because I did my teacher training placement in Livingston, which is outside Edinburgh.
Oh.
So,
Nominative determinism.
I know it was weird.
Like when I eat a flan.
It's exactly like that.
Like, I'd be looking at the flan like, who am I?
No, I do a bit on stage about this, about going into the teaching placement on my first day into Livingston. And they said, right, kids, everybody, just please welcome Miss Livingstone. And I come in and they're like, that's Miss Livingstone.
That's the beauty queen who was awarded Miss Livingstone.
Who the fuck were the runners up? So, I'll just shoehorn material in here wherever I can.
Yeah, nice. Hell yeah.
So, embarrassing stories. Now, we were just saying you don't get embarrassed on stage because really, to be a stand-up comedian, you can't really be embarrassed being on stage talking about some of your most embarrassing things. But
it's weird. There's a kind of I will often joke about something before I'm kind of comfortable talking about it
100%.
to people.
Yeah.
And it's a way of sort of kind of getting yourself closer to saying like, oh, actually, this was a really tough time, or actually, like, I'm quite unhappy about this, or whatever, or like, this is something about me. And so embarrassing doesn't really, and even when you like die, embarrass isn't quite the word I use for it. I'd say more like
die on stage.
Die on stage, yes, yeah. Not like I said, hello, I've died.
Embarrassing, I died. To you in heaven.
Yeah.
Scundered.
Oh my God, Ratner. Oh my God, Bieber, I died.
Me, I'm dead.
Oh my God, look at me, I'm dead.
Classic
me.
Yeah.
See me, I'm mad. I died. Like, see me, aren't I mad? I just died. So when you die on stage, it's a little bit more like, you're not like, like this. I did English at uni, but all I can summon instead of words are sounds.
Noises.
Funny,
I do get embarrassed when it doesn't go. I feel it's linked into a part of me that is the same reaction as embarrassment. Maybe says something more about me. I admire people who can cope with things like dying on stage or stuff goes well, because I don't. I do not cope well.
Well, I mean, I feel like there's a bit of a problem if I start to talk about how good I am, or how comfortable I am, not good, how comfortable I am with dying on stage, because it implies that I've died more often than other people. The reason, Teresa, why like dying on stage would be like, oh God, is because basically I've done it enough. I am unfunny enough that I no longer care if people don't find me.
It's like true.
And sometimes there's a sort of dying on stage in front of people that you know and care about is a little bit different. I did a support slot. I've talked about this before, I think, but I did a support slot for Tim McGarry at a charity benefit he was doing. And it was me and Terry O'Neill, right?
Terry McHugh.
Thank you. Sorry, Terry. It was like yo-yos. You know the one.
Yes.
Yes, Terry McHugh, legend of the game. And I was on, Tim did a bit, and then I came on. It was like 150 people sold out gig. And my mum, my dad, and an auntie were there, my auntie Rita. And I played to silence.
Oh, no.
I played to just dead silence, and I could hear mum and dad laughing, doing that thing where you laugh to make other people
supportive
the supportive laugh.
Yes.
Like probably ha ha ha. And that was tough. And I remember like getting off stage and kind of just almost falling over. And Tim, because he's lovely, was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, that was a bit too long or whatever." And then
Would you rather have an experience like that or to just be heckled constantly during a gig?
Oh,
I mean, neither are ideal. Obviously.
neither are ideal. Heckle constantly, at least you can bounce
Interact
with that.
Yes.
Silence
is the worst.
Silence is the worst. I mean, I kind of hate hecklers. It's in another life I would have been a teacher, and I would have been a really mean teacher. And every so often that like I'll let out a part of me that would have been like, "Sit down, boys."
On stage?
On stage,
Yeah.
I did a gig in Birmingham, where I live part of the time, and it was like a free show, and a work party came in. And a work party is a very specific thing because they have already been drinking. They want the crack, but it's a bit like a hen party or a stag party where they kind of want the event to be about them.
Yeah.
And they don't really want to hear your like beautifully constructed arty material about your childhood, which, as we know, is very funny. But
They're more like, talk about Janine and HR.
Talk about Janine HR. Oh my God, look at her. Look at her. Janine.
Yeah.
Get in here. And Janine's like, "Oh my God.
I know.
Stop.
It's a nightmare.
So I got on stage and I said, "Hey, I'm about to do characters and a storyline and like different types of characters, and there's going to be different things and high concept stuff happening. So I am not about to do what you guys want me to do."
Oh, this sounds fun.
And they were like, And I was like, "And you can go.
Yeah.
It will leave 4 people in the audience, but I don't care."
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, okay." And they were actually grand. We had a very nice time in the end.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was really nice. It was just that my friend John was in the audience, and he was like, "You were telling them, now listen, now shut the fuck up." And he was like, and I could hear you leaning into your Belfast accent, and I could see like face down, you were like, "No,
Yeah.
we'll have none of that.
No,
We'll have none of that shit. None of that shit."
Yeah.
But you see, he could see as a friend, he could see that behind that, I was going, "Please shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Please, let's have none of that. Please, I've worked really hard on this. I don't know how it's going to go. It's my first time running this out, please." Because my first time doing the Scream If You Want to Go Slower show. So it was my first time doing all these different characters kind of all together.
So that's worse. It's not even something you've just done 100 times.
No,
Yeah.
I wasn't on autopilot. I was...
Yeah. I had that in the Empire once where there's especially at different times of the year, especially December, you'll get Christmas nights out and they are the worst. And there was a massive, like the whole balcony of the Empire was a work night out.
Yeah.
So, which is even worse because they're so far removed from the stage, they don't really think they're in the same room as you and that they have to pay any attention. But anyway, I came out and it started as like a low chatter, sort of like, and then it just started to grow and grow. And normally I won't sort of like put anybody down. If it's just a wee bit of chatter, I'll just keep going.
Yeah.
Once I stop, my brain just has a brain fart. If I stop in mid-flow of a story, I'm like, I can't remember what I was saying. I'll just keep going. But this time it just got really bad. And I snapped and like properly screamed at the balcony. I was like, "The people in the balcony, shut the fuck up." And just like a proper. So the people on the floor were like, "Oh yeah, good. And there was just this stony silence, right? So, but this is what I was all like, "Oh yeah. I'm here. I've got control of this." And I did the rest of my set. It was grand. And I came off like floating. I was like, "Look at me. I am in charge." And the bar manager was like, "Oh no, I threw them out." Told them to leave. And I was like, "Okay." So,
you didn't cast a spell.
No.
They just weren't
no,
there.
I had no effect whatsoever. They were already problematic. And the barman was like, "Get the hell out."
Get out. But man, we love a barman. We love a bar person who's going to throw people out if they're noisy.
Oh, 100%.
Oh.
I've been in so many gigs where, and it's just a misunderstanding about what a comedy show is like.
Yes.
So if people understand the dynamics and that if somebody's just constantly interrupting, somebody needs to just have a quiet word. Not necessarily throw them out, just have a wee word.
Yes.
But I've been in far too many where somebody's just Like the security man's there roaring along with them, and I'm like, my God, please do something.
Yeah, and like there are people who do like a lot of crowd work, and like talking to the crowd is different from heckling. You know, like if I throw out a question to the audience to say something back, we have a thing, but that conversation has a finite endpoint.
Yeah.
There is there's an end to that. And then if you keep talking, then I will get meaner. I'm
You
kind
would have been a good teacher.
Thank you. I think. Yes. And kind of angrier and everything. And I remember talking to someone about like, we were talking about heckling or something, and they'd be like, but you know, if you heckle, that's them kind of helping the comedian, isn't it? And I was like,
I know.
Like, or like to deal with like a heckler, it shows that you're a good comedian. And I was like, okay, well, okay, if I'm a waiter and someone on a table that I'm serving stands up on the table, takes their shirt off, and starts inserting cutlery pieces one by one into their rectum while like screaming racial epithets. If I deal with that well and calm down and, you know, get everybody calm and sorted, I am a good waiter. But it is not on my fucking job description. And it is not exactly a transferable fucking skill. And that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so kind of, and I think sometimes like embarrassing on stage, like if you take sort of a risk or like, I'm going to look stupid if I do this, but looking stupid is kind of the point.
Yeah. You have to be comfortable with it.
You have to be comfortable with that. There's a another podcast, Las Culturistas, and they talk about overcoming cringe mountain.
Okay.
Like you have to get to a point where you've made yourself cringe enough with the stuff that you're doing on stage that you don't care.
Yeah.
And then there's a lovely kind of freedom
of
being like, yeah, you know what? I am going to put on a fake beard in the middle of a set and be like, hello, I'm a different person now. Or I am going to, you know, order a giant bell costume and say I'm the belle of Belfast City. For like 5 minutes.
You have to. It's not. Nothing's going to be funny if you're in your head about like,
yes,
is this embarrassing or is this cool enough or is this what I struggle with this all the time about trying to write something and not worry about what the audience is going to think. And there was a really good quote. I think it was John Mulaney said, if you're writing something, if you're trying to write a joke and you, in your voice, in your head, you hear the audience laugh, then it's no good. Because what you're doing is you're trying to think of something rather than what you think is, if it makes you laugh, then that's what you should go with. But if you're going, oh, right, the audience are going to laugh at that, they're probably not.
Yeah.
And that definitely happens to me. Anytime I try and do something a wee bit more like what I think a stand-up comedian should do or say, it never works.
Yeah.
And then I go back to talking about putting on tights and I'm like, oh, this is working. Because it's authentic.
This is what it is. I'm authentically putting on tights.
Yes. Yeah. And struggling. I was going to ask you some would you rather questions, but you actually already answered. I literally was going to ask you this. I was going to ask you, would you rather be relentlessly heckled on stage or perform to complete silence?
Relentlessly heckled. Relentlessly heckled.
Okay. Yes. So we've already discussed that one. I'm going to ask you another one.
Yeah, go on.
Would you rather have your name tattooed on your forehead or have no teeth?
Oh, no teeth. Dentures. Duh.
Easy. No teeth.
Oh, so I don't
You can't wear dentures.
I can't wear dentures.
No, I say so.
Thing is, I have a thing about breaking my mother's heart.
Okay.
So I'm never going to get a tattoo.
Anywhere.
It is this crazy thing I have. Well, because my brother's gotten a couple of tattoos and my mom is
devastated.
Not a fan. Totally devastated. Hates it. Like, can't really like just sort of look at it. Oh, class.
Oh, no. Well, where does he have it?
Just on his arm.
Okay, it's not like it's on his nose or something.
On his nose, and they're not like, you know,
offensive.
No, they're just like, we like little scrawly images. He loves them.
So you wouldn't tattoo your name on your forehead is what you're telling me?
It's not what I would do. It's not what I would do. I mean, there is, you know, sometimes it would help a little bit with identification because, so my name's Mary, right? And in England, if you say, hi, my name's Mary, they're like, Miriam? Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they don't, I have to say Mary.
Like as in Joseph and Mary, like the mother of God.
Like the whole, you godless humans. I say, no, I'm Mary. And they're like, and it just doesn't,
it doesn't register.
It doesn't register it for first time.
How
for them.
strange.
Very peculiar. So all the way through uni and when I was like working in England, hi, I'm Mary.
Yeah.
And then just straight back to my normal, as you can tell, very thick Belfast accent. For the rest of the conversation. And sometimes the heartbreaking thing is realizing that I got into the habit of it. So when I'm back here and someone's like, hi, what's your name? I go, hi, I'm Mary. And
Mary.
I'm like, oh no.
So it's the accent more than...
It's the accent more than the name. Once they understand it's Mary.
Oh my goodness.
They're fully on board, 100%. We're having a laugh. It's all grand, but it's just Mary. Mary to begin with.
With your funny accent?
With my funny accent. I mean, it does mean that if I think the other person is from here or like Ireland or like just island of, or if I hear someone nearby with a Belfast accent, I will like be like, Mary, my name's Mary Flanagan. Just trying to
attract them.
Trying to attract them, trying to see if someone will be like, but I think I know your dad.
Because I lived abroad in Spain for a while. When I came home, my parents were like, "You've gotten awfully posh." Because not just from having to, because I was teaching kids in English.
Yeah, you were getting kids to bang their balls together,
trying to get them to understand what I was saying. But also just the people I was living and working with, I'd overpronounce everything. I just would be like, because Teresa doesn't really in Spanish. They'd say Teresa. Teresa. So I'd introduce myself like that. I'd say I'm Teresa, sound like a twat. But the little kids I was teaching at one point, like they'd call us all like Miss Mary, Miss Teresa, Miss whatever. And I was teaching this kid for like a year, and it was coming up to parents' night, and he was like, my dad's coming. And I went, oh, okay. And he said, I just wanted to ask you, why do you have a man's name? And I was like, I don't have a man's name. And he was like, but you're Mr. Isa. And I was like, no, I'm not Mr. Isa. I'm Miss Teresa. And they were like, well, I've told him you're a man. I was like, okay, fine. Well, we'll discuss it at your parents' meeting. Gonna have to get rid of this tash.
Where is Mr. Isa this evening?
Yeah, where's Mr. Isa?
Senor Isa.
I know.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
But no, tattoos, I already have what I feel like is no teeth. I have a false tooth.
You have a false tooth?
I have a false tooth. And it's very...
Can I guess which one?
No. Because now I'm really self-conscious. I regret ever saying it. But so basically I had a tooth that fell out when I was about 14 and there was no tooth to replace it. I don't know what's wrong with me. I think it was just weird. There was a baby tooth and no tooth to come afterwards.
Okay.
So I got a false tooth put there. It's that one there.
See, I think you and I have the same thing then, because I am missing. This is really, really fun for.
It's very attractive.
It's very attractive. Please. I go straight to incisors.
Oh, you don't have. Oh God.
Yeah.
So it's not that you've got a gap; you've just got the wrong teeth in the wrong place.
I'm just basically it's a car crash up in here. So I'm missing.
I would never have noticed that.
The two teeth just never grew, and I think we have the same thing. And you had a false tooth put in.
Yeah, but there's a space. There's no space there for you.
There is a little.
Okay. Well, I had a false tooth put in, but because I was still
it's talking teeth with Teresa Livingstone and
Flanigan, making people feel sick.
Yeah.
But no, I had a false tooth put in when I was 14. And because I was still growing, they were like, that's a temporary one. You'll get a proper one when you're when you're all grown up.
When you're all grown up.
So when I was at uni.
When I grow up, I want to get a tooth.
Going to get my dentures. I bit into this sandwich one day at uni and I felt it pop out and I was like, oh my God.
It's happened.
It happened. And for my whole first year at uni, I had this tooth that was constantly falling out, right? It was so bad. My flatmates thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And and I went,
were they wrong?
It was just awful. So I was just, it used to sort of fit in and I just have to be really careful not eating that side. Anyway, I met a guy who was very, very nice and asked if we could go out for a drink. And I was like, oh yeah, okay. This is my first year at uni, first person I've sort of been interested in.
Yeah.
And that day I was sort of feeling a bit wobbly. So I was like, I'm just going to have to be very conscious of this tooth. And I knew it was going to fall out on this date. So I was sitting talking to him. I basically didn't speak on the date. He talked the whole time. And I just did this. Right? And for the first time in my life, I shut up and the date went well. I was like, I think I see where I've been going wrong. So I just laughed at everything he said. I was like, And then he's like, right, I'll walk you home. This is very Victorian. I shall walk you home.
Yes.
So we got to the front of my halls of residence, and he's like, well, do you want to go out again sometime? And I was going, And then he leant in to give me a kiss, and I was like, oh my God, here we go. So I had a very, very quick kiss. The tooth didn't fall out, and I was like, fuck, right?
No.
And then I let my guard down. I relaxed, and he went, right, I'll see you again. I'll give you a call. And I did a big laugh. I went, when I threw my head back, the tooth came flying out of my foot, out of my mouth, and like landed on his shoe. And we both just stood there, and I was like, oh, that's mature. Right. Got down on the ground to look for it. And he went, oh, why are you looking for it? And I was like, because I just want to save it. And I got hoked around on the ground in the dark to find this tooth. I was like, I don't like to waste things.
I don't like waste things.
And I found it and went, put it back in my mouth and went, right, okay, see ya. I went upstairs and my flatmates were like, how'd the date go? I was like, not well. No. I don't expect to hear from that man ever again.
Well, it went well right up until the very last.
Till I spat a tooth out.
And to be fair, if he'd been like, this is hilarious, that's clearly a tooth or something, then you would have been like, this is
the man for me.
This is the one. This is the one.
I don't judge him for not calling me again. That was really weird.
And we hope wherever he is, he's very happy.
I tell you what, about 10 years later, I was sitting at home. This is way after uni, and we were watching The Weakest Link.
Yes.
And he was on The Weakest Link.
He was on The
and I
Weakest Link.
recognised him, and I went, and I was like, I know him. And he won The Weakest Link.
He won The Weakest Link.
He was all excited about it because he was about to get married, and that was going to be money towards the wedding. And I was like, it could have been me.
It could have been you.
If I just kept my mouth shut. Didn't spit teeth at him.
You could have just, I don't know. Well, I'm sure his wife, I'm sure they have a long, happy marriage filled with teeth.
Yeah.
Filled with...
Both got their own teeth.
They've all got their own teeth. So I think probably liquefied food. I mean, I do love my food.
Me too.
It's the best thing.
I'm not sacrificing that for beautiful teeth. No.
No.
It's all fixed now.
Yeah.
So anyone can punch me in the face. It'll be fine.
I mean, now that you say that, what a way to end the podcast. I just punch you in the face.
Well, with that,
I didn't have any teeth things in school. Didn't have any braces or anything. But I pretty much needed glasses from when I was like 7 years old.
Okay.
So constantly all the way through school. And I would get like big kind because my eyesight was quite bad.
Yeah.
You know.
Sorry. I just think kids with glasses are so cute. So I was like, picture.
Just like big kind of refracted eyes.
Okay.
But I love to swim. I love to swim.
Okay.
So we got goggles with lenses in.
Prescription goggles.
Goggles. And they were the best. They were the best because there's something about not being able to see that also makes your hearing go a bit off. So like there's something like basically when I was learning to swim, if I couldn't see the instructor, then I like couldn't really hear them, and the noises in swimming pools are so like
echoey
and crazy. And I would try and get. Basically, one time I was in Maysfield Swimming Centre. I would have been like 8 or 9, maybe, and I was trying to get my mum to fix my goggles so that I could hear. And I started splashing like, Mummy!
She's a strange child. Yes.
Like, Mummy. And I was kind of like messing around, being like, Mummy, I can't see. And then suddenly, wow, beep, everyone get off, stop, get out of the water. And then there was a lifeguard ring was thrown at me because they thought I was drowning.
Oh, Jesus.
So the whole place emptied out.
Oh my God, Mary.
And I was like sobbing. I was crying on my mum's knee in the swimming pool, being like, I've never been so embarrassed. Mum was like, you are 9. Like so much more ahead of you.
This is only the beginning.
I had a vision of the future of you opening for Tim McGarry, and I got news for you, kiddo.
I just realised I really highlighted the difference in age there because you were telling that story and I went, bomb scare.
Yeah, and I I'll be a child of the peace process.
See, sure. That's my recollection of being in swimming pools, bomb scares.
Bomb scares.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Talking
back
trauma.
In the war.
Talking trauma with Teresa Livingstone. Talking teeth and trauma. The prescription goggles also kind of came. Basically, I was on holiday in Donegal. It was an Irish language, like family learning camp thing. So during the day, mum and dad would be going to their Irish lessons. Me and a couple of cousins and my brother and sister, we'd all be going to our own Irish lessons.
Fun.
Meet up in the evening, go to the beach, go to Antra, have a lovely time. And basically, we packed in a hurry one day for the beach, and I didn't bring my prescription goggles. I thought it'd be fine. We're only kind of paddling. I lost my glasses in the sea.
Oh shit! Right.
So then, but a girl needs to see. Because mother and father have already paid for this Irish language education thing, and here we are. So I wore my prescription goggles in class. Out
to the dance.
Out to the dance. I think I would have been 14, 15.
Oh, Mary.
Yeah. Me and my pals. There was a point where I was trying to put my wee cousin Connie, shout out to Connie, to bed, and it was like
terrifying the children.
I was just holding the goggles to my face, being like, Connie being like, well, no, you have no authority, goggles
you have
woman.
a wee flirt and everything.
Yeah, as if a wee flirt.
Oh,
I was
God.
just I think I had a friend up to stay until I got that week. Yeah, and that was until we could.
Do you have any photos?
For some reason, I don't think mother wanted to document that particular time in my life. But I have loads of photos of me with glasses, but not.
No. I mean, with you at the out and about,
that prescription goggles, pulling them. The thing is, because I knew enough to not wear them 24/7.
Okay,
but just I would be in class
just when you needed them.
The class, and then the writing on the wall. I'd pull the goggles down, look up at the writing. Okay, everything's kind of tinged green, but I can see. Oh, okay, that's how you spell on Shylock. Okay, and the goggles back off again. Okay. Oh, wait, there. Yeah, and just.
Oh.
So then I got laser eye surgery, and then I never had any problems again ever.
You've no embarrassing situations since.
ever occurred.
Fab. So, are you taking your show to the Edinburgh Fringe?
Not this year.
Maybe next year?
Maybe next year would be nice if that happened. I'm doing it in Birmingham Comedy Festival, and I'm also
when's that?
That is in October.
Okay.
Can I remember the date and time? No.
Well, people can find you on
Instagram. At Mazflaz, MAZFLAZ.
Okay.
And
go and see Mary. Don't sit in complete silence. Wear your prescription goggles.
Wear your prescription goggles.
Mary, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks.
This has been so lovely.
Bye.